Fear not, denizens, parade is here, aka the bringer of rain, aka father of the sea and sun, aka king of the core. And before I introduce my very special guest, I want to welcome you all to the Core Creators Podcast, where I interview creators across the HoloNet. And today, we have the master behind the masks, the endlessly alien, the radical Rhodian Burgundy 23 of Burgundy Squadron, Icknaybob. How are you today, sir?
Hello, everybody. Doing well. Thank you very much for having me here.
Yeah. I'm super happy to have you here. This was a special intro. I asked our friends in Burgundy Squad, how would you describe Icknaybob? And and that's what they gave me. And I thought that was really special because you are known for wearing a ton of masks, and I want to ask you about those. But before we start, I wanted to ask where your love of Star Wars started.
And from as far as I can remember from a very young age, I mean, this is before we had DVD players. The only time I ever saw Star Wars was actually on TV.
No way.
Specifically, I can remember the USA channel. So I know everywhere it varies what channel USA is, but they would have marathons. My brother and I, no matter what, would always up and watch it, to the point my parents were like, haven't you seen this a million times? And we're like, yeah. But yeah, well, I'm trying to remember, when did I first see it? I had to been like 5 or 6.
Wow.
As far as I can remember. Yeah. So from an early age, I've loved it.
Yeah. Was it New Hope the first one you saw, or did you see like them out of order?
I probably watched them out of order.
Okay.
Because by the time I was cognate enough to know of Star Wars, I'm pretty sure I've already seen them a million times, to connect them, including like the Ewok movies they used to play on TV.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Figuring out that, it's 4, 5, and 6, and then Ewok movies. So
that's awesome. Who was your favorite character growing up in Star Wars?
R2-D2 and Boba Fett.
Oh,
yep,
nice.
Yep.
I love R2-D2. Yeah.
Yep. To this day, droids and aliens are my favorite part of Star Wars. I'm still a Mandalorian. I mean, if you look at my hoodie, I am a member of the Mando Mercs. I have been for the last, I think, 12 and a half years.
Awesome.
So I am an official member.
Very cool. Ran across a couple of those members before here in Sacramento. Blaster to your head, Mando or Alien?
Ooh, Alien. Alien.
I know I asked you, I think through DMs before, but I wanted to ask you on the podcast. Where did your love of Alien start? Or was it Star Wars, or was it something before that?
Oh, man, I think it's even before Star Wars.
Okay.
I've always loved the weird and obscure, everything from Godzilla to the creature from the Black Lagoon.
For sure.
I remember specifically, this had been 2nd grade, because I remember I was in Connecticut, and I think I was in 2nd grade at that time. We got free books from the library. One of them happened to be about special effects makeup.
Okay.
And they had Godzilla, it had the creature from the Black Lagoon, and this is before I've even seen the movie. Flipping through that book and seeing all the pictures, man, I was in heaven. And that's just what I've always flocked to, like alien movies, monster movies. That was my jam.
That's awesome. I remember as a kid, just on TV, running across Guyver. Have you seen that?
Dude, I'm a huge Guyver fan.
No.
Yep. Thanks to HBO, the live-action movie, and then discovering it was an anime. I'm like, what?
I remember it just being on TV, and it was violent, because I thought I was into like Power Rangers growing up in the 90s, and I was like, oh, this is like Power Rangers, right? And there's just like blood and gore, and I was like, this is crazy. But you talking about aliens that way kind of struck that chord with me with Guyver.
You know what's funny is I believe it's Amazon Prime just got Guyver on there.
No way.
I was flipping through Amazon and I saw it and it said Guyver. I'm like, oh, I need to watch this. I haven't seen it in forever.
There was
I love that series.
There was a cosplayer, I think, at one of my first cons, dressed as the Guyvers. It was.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was like,
the movie or the anime?
I think the movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen a few, and actually, Stephen Wang worked on the Guyver, who he also worked on, if I can remember correctly, I know he did Monster Squad, specifically the Gill Man.
Okay.
And he's done a lot of other movies. Now I'm blanking.
Yeah.
But he's a big name in Hollywood too.
Okay. Okay. Do you have a background in special effects or makeup like that, or?
You know, it's funny. I was an art major in school.
Okay.
I can sculpt, I can paint, but I'm so lazy that I don't do any of it.
There's just too much to create, so it's not
Yeah,
lazy. It's not being lazy. It's
yeah.
just
I did product design, so a lot of it has to do with materials. So I know a little bit about like plastics, and I did metalsmithing. I did jewelry for 3 years. I think painting I never took, but I do paint because I paint miniatures and I paint action figures and that kind of stuff. So that I just learned on my own. But the rest of it, yeah, I went to college for that.
okay. Okay. So full disclosure for anyone watching this podcast, I usually don't talk to the people about their backgrounds before, so this is all news to me, and I'm very excited because I was like, "Oh, jewelry, metalsmithing." Okay.
Oh yeah, a little bit of everything. So I'm literally a jack of all trades, master of none.
That's awesome, man. Tell me about metalsmithing. How deep or how far does that go for you?
Like I without the tools, and that's the bad part about not being in school, is that you have access to all these
Yeah,
wonderful
yeah,
tools.
yeah.
So I highly recommend everybody take some community college classes and this kind of stuff.
Okay.
And as far as like jewelry, I was able to fabricate almost a life-size insect, like a wasp, down to the like different segments, parts. It was made, I forget how many different parts. It's on my Do I have it on my Instagram? I don't have it on my Instagram, but I'll have to show you. I'll have to send you pictures
Yeah,
of it.
yeah.
But it was one of my best works, and people saw it, and they were, flabbergasted when they saw it. And I'm like, yeah, I happen to like bugs, and combining the two, I'm like, hey,
Yeah, yeah. No, that's cool. Does the metalsmithing go past like into doing any like armor or any like armor smithing?
Not yet,
Okay.
but it's funny because I taught myself leather work, so I can make
Leatherwork.
leather armor. Had
Nice.
started a metal armor, but then that's at that point I think I had moved to Georgia, so I stopped. I
Okay.
never finished anything. I got as far as it was a aluminum leg from a rack that I literally cut it apart, flattened it, and I had quite a few segments already ready to go,
Yeah.
and then that's where I stopped.
Yeah. Dude, that'd be so heavy to wear though, right?
Yeah, aluminum is not too bad.
Oh, well,
Aluminum is a
that's
little bit
true.
lighter. Yeah,
That's true.
so it wouldn't. I was planning to mix it with leather, so it would not have been that bad, and
Okay.
I'll probably eventually get around to finishing it.
It's just on
Eventually.
your cosplay pile of shame. Um,
Yep, yep.
Talk about how you got into costuming. Let's go. Let's.
Oh, I've always loved costuming, especially watching movies. You see all the cool stuff, and
Yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
going to conventions. I think what was my first cosplay? I think I did steampunk first.
Oh, okay.
Back when I first lived in SoCal before I moved away for a while, I used to go to a lot of industrial clubs, and the
Okay.
fun part of that is they'll have themed nights, and steampunk at the time was a big thing.
All the rage.
So it was all the rage. So I would make some really cool steampunk outfits, and then from there, it just slowly grew. I think my Mandalorian was my first official cosplay.
Oh,
Um,
no way.
and it started with LARP. I wanted to LARP Star Wars. I looked
Yeah.
up everywhere, couldn't find one. I'm like, well, let me start working on my costume. And of course, I wanted to be a Mandalorian, which led me to the Mandalorian Mercs. Got official with them.
Yeah.
I think I did one Star Wars LARP. That was
Okay.
about it. It's not that many in SoCal, surprisingly.
Yeah. I mean, I've done a little bit. Well, not any like official LARPing. But we did like medieval. We just built weapons and stuff, and then just went out to the
Yeah,
park and played by the LARP rules.
eat each other.
With Star Wars, would it be lightsabers or could you use like Nerf blasters and?
Oh, the one I attended had both. It was Nerf blasters,
Okay.
and you had buffer weapons with lightsabers. I actually might, I'm gonna say might start a Star Wars
Ooh.
LARP. It's a huge undertaking, so
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know if I have the time. But I would not, believe it or not, I would not allow lightsabers. It would be blasters only.
Blasters only.
No Jedi. No,
Okay.
no Jedi, no Mandalorians. You have to be a denizen, basically,
Oh, okay,
and start
okay.
around. And you might eventually acquire a lightsaber, but you're gonna have to be like level 30 or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dude, that would be rad, man. To have a little LARPing community of gun blaster gun toting
Right?
denizens.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
That's something
we're
I'm working on, but we'll see. We'll see how far I get with that.
yeah, yeah. Um, no, I mean we're already. I feel like we're already halfway there with Burgundy Squadron, right?
Yep. Yeah, well, see, that's perfect because that would give everybody who loves to play and cosplay a place to actually be more immersive. And I
Yeah,
know people are craving that immersiveness. Having gone on the Halcyon Star Cruiser, there's a lot of people that are from that community that are still starved for that kind of interaction, and
for
they
sure.
can't find it. You know?
Yeah, for sure. You went to the Halcyon?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm a little bit spoiled. I got to go twice.
Oh.
So yeah, the first time, I planned it with my friends. We
Sure.
went. The second time, my friend actually paid for me to go.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, so it was that trip was fun, but it was also bittersweet because my flight was delayed like 8 hours. I had to
Oh,
sleep at the over at the airport overnight, and I got there 2 hours late. But since I've already been on the Halcyon, I'm like, it's not that bad. I didn't miss
yeah,
much.
yeah. Okay.
Fair enough, my group got picked to do something important. I missed that part. I'm
Ah.
like, but I'm not complaining. I got to go for the second time for free, so
Yeah.
I'm not going to complain.
What a good friend. That's rad. I mean, when you said you were delayed 8 hours, I thought you were gonna miss 8 hours of the day,
Oh
and that
no,
would have been awful.
my flight was canceled. I think the night before. Got there, flight was delayed for like 5 or 6 hours. Got on the plane, had a deplane because the pilots went over their time. They gave us vouchers for a hotel.
Mm.
Stayed at the hotel. Got back on the plane. Plane was delayed another like 2 hours. So luckily, all of this happened, the night before. So I ended up getting there 2 hours late, which is not too bad.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. I'm glad some of my friends have gotten to go. I didn't get a chance to go. I thought it was gonna be, oh, we'll be there forever. We'll eventually
I
save
think
up.
everyone thought that. Yeah, see, and that would have been perfect for Burgundy Squad to go as a
Yeah.
group. That would have been
Oh,
perfect,
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you're right.
right?
That would have been really cool.
So if I can create a Star Wars LARP environment, then I would definitely have Burgundy Squad out.
Yeah, for sure. There's been talks of trying to do something like that. My dream with this platform is eventually have the Rancor Con, right, and have I'm hosting it and have all my
Oh,
friends,
that would
and
be cool.
there's like an art section or a denizen section where it's just immersive cosplay and people hanging out
That
in
would be
costume.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Those are one of those
2025.
lofty lofty goals. We'll see.
2025.
I don't know about this year unless we get sponsored. I'm open for sponsorship. Go sponsor me,
There you
whoever.
go. Somebody sponsor them.
Please sponsor me. No explicit. It's all just clean for all ages. No, but I mean, yeah, we're all hungry for that, and conventions are tough. Celebrations is a little tough right now because 2025 Japan. But we were talking before the pod, maybe if it gets to the States, Anaheim, if they get back to Anaheim, maybe we'll get a
Yeah.
bunch of people.
I mean, from what I understand, they alternate between the U.S. and then somewhere else, and then back to the U.S. So I'm sure
Yeah.
it'll come back. It's just where.
When? Yeah.
It might be East Coast, it might be West Coast.
Yeah, they
So
used to do every other year, and then it was just Chicago, Florida, L.A. But
okay.
they added Tokyo, and I can't remember if they announced another different area yet.
Oh,
Like off the
I know
top,
England, like the one previous was in England, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
London, yeah, yeah.
I've been to the one in Anaheim, not the last one, but the one previous, like
Okay,
in 2018 or something. I
yeah,
forget
yeah,
when the last one in Anaheim was. Not
yeah.
the last one, I'm sorry, the one previous to that. That was the last, that was the only one I've been to. So,
What other conventions have you gone to?
Dragon Con when I was in Atlanta,
That's a bucket
Phoenix
list
Comic
con for
Con when
me.
I was in Arizona.
Arizona, nice.
Even when I was here in California, I've done Phoenix Comic Con, I think twice
Oh, okay.
with some other vendors. We actually drove up there.
Oh, nice.
In California, I did pretty much all of them. WonderCon,
WonderCon,
LA Comic Con.
nice.
I forget what else there is. I know some of the names have changed in the
Yeah,
last like 5 or 6 years.
the
So
Kamikaze.
Kamikaze.
Yeah.
I forget what the other ones are.
There's there's a bunch. We're a little spoiled
Oh,
here.
San Diego Comic Con. Yeah, San Diego Comic Con.
What's funny is I actually haven't been to San Diego Comic Con.
I'm not a fan, I'll be honest. It's
Yeah,
super crowded.
yeah,
There's lines for everything,
yeah.
and they're not very friendly to cosplayers, my opinion, because
Right.
they always yell at you for blocking the lines and tell you to move on. So I'm like, yeah. I can have more fun locally.
Yeah, the local ones are more fun. You know, it's actually funny. You're probably one of the few guests who have gone to conventions a bunch because when I
Oh
have
yeah.
people on, they're like, "Oh, I just started cosplaying for Batuu," right? And so
Oh yeah. Yeah.
it's like, "Oh, you guys don't know the struggle of going to Comic Con."
Oh man, making that last minute cosplay only for it to fall apart at the
Yeah.
con. It's like, oh my god, does somebody have hot glue?
Yeah. Like, oh, why don't you use hot glue for that? It's like, don't use hot
Yeah,
glue.
yeah, right.
Or like, does anyone have any super glue or like duct tape? We've done duct
Yeah.
tape in a pinch.
Well, luckily, I think cosplay's been around long enough that at conventions you have people that go around fixing people's costumes,
Yeah.
and there's even rooms now dedicated
Yeah.
for cosplayers to take breaks. At what was it? I want to say it was like MomoCon, I think, was in Atlanta,
Yeah.
where there was a whole room dedicated for cosplayers to sit there. They had drinks, they had medical need if you
Yeah.
needed it, cosplay repair. They had everything in that room. I'm like, this is awesome, man. Every
Yeah.
con needs one of these.
And I went to Fanime and they had that too. And there's like, you're not allowed to take
Anime.
pictures in there, right? Because
Yeah,
so people can
exactly.
just relax and just chill
The
out.
wigs come off.
Wigs come off, armor comes off. Just
Yep.
like, yeah, those bigger cons really help out the cosplayers, which is really nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think the last anime con I went to was what's the big one in California in LA? Anime LA? No,
Fanime.
anime.
Fanime? No, Fanime
Is
is
it
out
Anime?
in Bay Area.
What's the one they call AX?
Uh, Anime Expo.
Anime Expo.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I used to do Power Ranger cosplay, so
Oh,
we used
nice.
to go to Anime Expo. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not really that big into anime, so the only one I go to, I've been to Fanime once, but SAC Anime, but they have a lot of video game
Okay.
presence here.
Okay.
So
I dabble in a little bit of anime from time to time, but
yeah.
not enough where I would want to cosplay as the character. Especially since I don't really look like any anime character, so
Right.
I would have to pick something with a mask or a
Yeah.
helmet or something.
Same. I'm like, I don't have the body shape to be.
Yeah, I definitely don't now.
I'm like, either I'm Boo, or I'm like Fat Gum from My Hero, just all these bigger guys,
Yeah.
right?
That's why I had to give up my Power Ranger cosplay because it got to a point where I'm like, you know what? I'm starting to gain weight. I don't look good in spandex. It's
Yeah.
got to go.
Yeah. Hey, more
I
power
can
to the
I
people who are
can wait.
comfortable. More power to the people who are
Yeah,
comfortable, but not
exactly.
for me.
I'm not gonna fat shame people. I'm just hard on myself.
Yeah.
So you guys do whatever makes it fun, and I will always support you.
Right,
But
right.
for me, I'm a harsher judge on myself. So
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Going back to Star Wars and cosplay looks, how many Mandalorians did you put together in your past?
you know what? Just one.
Just
I've
one?
been
Okay.
rocking the same Mandalorian for the last 12 and a half years. I did make a new one for the Halcyon, which
Oh,
is
okay.
I'm gonna repaint it to be my new kit just because
Nice.
after
Oh yeah.
12 and a half years, things start to fall apart. So, and I've
Mm.
gained a little bit of weight, so it's about time I make a new one.
Let it out a little bit. Let it out. Are you gonna
Yeah.
change the like colorway, or are you gonna keep the same
Um,
color scheme?
I'm gonna change the colors. It's gonna be from traditional Boba Fett style to the new Post Imperial, which I just love. Which is, if
Okay.
anybody's not familiar with that, it's what Din Djarin wears, and the covert they wear Post Imperial armor is
Okay.
what they call it.
Okay. Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Looking forward to seeing that. Definitely. In the description, I'll have your Instagram. But anyone listening, check out your Instagram because I really like your Denizen looks too. One of
Oh, thank you.
I love your headpieces that you have for some of your denizens. The bowl called the
The
bowl.
bowl. Oh, yeah, the bowl. You know what? Everyone loves the bowl, and it's the simplest thing. It's a fruit punch bowl.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Flipped upside down, hot glued onto, I think it's a bike helmet. I think it's a bike helmet or a hockey helmet. I can't remember what it is,
Okay.
but
Okay.
it's hot glued onto a helmet
Nice.
and it's spray painted. That's it. I've been meaning to work on it a little bit more. I'm gonna cover the helmet with leather so it
Yeah.
doesn't, see it from underneath. I don't want people to see the plastic
Sure.
helmet, so
Of course.
it needs a little touch up.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but it looks good in photos, man. Like it really like your characters that you make really leave an impression on me because I feel like it looks different from most of
Oh,
the
thank you.
denizens that I usually see. And not saying everyone's is like worse than yours, but I like yours. You have like a unique style to it. I really enjoy it.
I appreciate that, and that is something I strive for. Is I try to be as authentic to the movies as possible, using things that are found in the movies.
Yeah.
Like down to the canteens I have are straight from the indoor troopers. The
Oh,
bowl hat came from, if you look at, I think it was Andor, the scene when they're in Jeddah. There's a guy, several guys. I think it's the same guy walking back and forth in different frames,
yeah.
wearing that bowl type helmet. So I'm like, dude, I can make that. So I do draw inspiration from the shows, the
Sure.
movies. Like I
Yeah.
own almost all the visual dictionaries.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm hoping they make more of those because if they anytime they come out with one, I will eat it up.
Yeah.
And I just stare at those pictures for hours.
Yeah,
But
oh, oh,
yeah,
sorry, just to interrupt. I picked up the Denizens of the Rim book that Corellia Star and Eshrao do,
I
and
need to pick that up.
it's worth it, man. It's worth it, and they don't do any spoilers online, so my curiosity
Yeah,
is like, I'm like, I need to grab this book, and I'm very happy I did because it does feel like kind of a visual dictionary for our
yeah.
group, right?
It,
And a
I
glowing
missed
adorable.
the first one.
I don't have the first one
He
either.
did two.
Yeah.
So I'm in the first one, and I forgot to buy it. I'm like, no. So I don't know if he has more copies or not. I need to hit him up.
Yeah, yeah, hit them up. Maybe they'll do like a little small run or something because I'm sure
Yeah,
anyone who joined later would love to have it, just to have it completed. But I was
yeah,
telling
exactly.
Colin from Corellia, I said the book feels like the visual dictionaries, and I never bought one as a kid. I would just go to like Borders or Barnes and Noble and
Just
sit,
flip through
yeah, and
it.
sit and just like look and read, the little paragraphs and stuff about it, or how it was made. Like the famous one of, oh, Qui-Gon Jinn's little communicator is a razor,
Yeah,
right?
the
Um,
razor,
so they're
exactly.
doing
And
exactly
that's
what we're doing, right? We're taking real world stuff and
yep.
Star Warsing it up.
I
So
highly recommend anybody to pick up Star Wars Insider or the visual dictionaries or any kind of visual source
yeah,
because they're usually pretty rich in materials of close-ups of props and stuff like that. So you'd
right.
be really surprised.
Man, I
You
might
can
have
learn
to
a lot
get
from it.
one. I might have to get
Yeah.
some. The only problem I'm having personally is all the places that I've stayed for the last 10 years are not like insulated right, so they like warp all the pages of all the books, and so I gotta,
Oh
yeah,
no.
that's the only sucky part
I
right
I
now.
that happened. When the houses I lived in Georgia leaked and it's got onto my
Oh,
books, got onto some comic books, some
that's the
Legos,
worst.
Lego. I'm sorry, there's no S in plural. Lego. So now I have to open it. Oh no.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's happened to me a few times, unfortunately. Even at this current house, it's leaked twice. And luckily, I now put everything in Tupperware,
Yeah,
in the like not
yeah,
Tupperware, but the giant plastic tubs. So at
yeah,
least they're somewhat waterproof.
yeah. No, that's smart. That's smart. Going back to your looks, and let's say your OCs, how do you decide? How do you pick like the look for it?
Believe it or not, I usually don't have a vision in my head beforehand. I
Oh,
just
interesting.
whatever's around that I can put together. I do purchase a lot of stuff too.
Okay.
I purchase from what's his name in the UK, Stephen Walker, Rebel Base Creations.
Okay.
I purchase
Oh, yeah,
from
yeah, yeah.
Gabricrete. I purchase from Etsy, which unfortunately I don't remember the names because sometimes they change
It's hard.
names.
Yeah, it's hard.
Um, yeah, and I buy secondhand from like people all the time. I'll see people on the various forums selling things, and I'm
Okay.
like, hey, that looks cool. I'll just buy it. I do thrift shop a lot. Go to Ross, go to
Okay.
Goodwill. If it
Yeah.
looks interesting, I will just pick it up.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out
And that's where
to.
it starts.
Oh, what was the last thing you said?
Oh, I said, and that's where it starts. You just pick up anything that you see that you might not need it now, but if it looks interesting and you have the money to spare,
Yeah.
grab it. But rule number one, real life comes first. If you can't afford it,
Right.
that has to wait. Real life comes first. If you can afford it, pick it up, let it sit there, and you might use it. Like some of the stuff I've had for like 10 years. I
Oh
never
wow.
used it until now.
Oh wow. 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 Wow.
Yeah,
That yeah.
I'm a pack rat.
Yeah, for having it for 10 years. Sure. Shout out to One Scavenger's Wardrobe, a friend of the show, Kate,
Yes,
and Billy on Off the Rack. They're
yes.
definitely champions of buying secondhand. Actually, this jacket I'm wearing is secondhand, and I was like, oh, this kind of
Oh,
feels a little
nice.
Andorish. So I'm
Yeah,
kind of rocking it. It has the
it works.
zippers, but it works for daily use as well. So I don't think the zippers are going to come off
Exactly.
anytime soon.
Yeah, you would be surprised because I mean that's how the original movies pretty much started. It was whatever's left over, and I think it was World War II movies that they used. Because they didn't have
Yeah.
the budget for like costumes. That's
Right.
why everything looks military.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Right. Right. So one thing you can't get secondhand are those dope masks that you rock.
yes, Same thing. I've been collecting these masks for I think about 10 years.
Wow.
Starting with the original Dawn Post Greedo mask
Okay.
that I actually used that one for a long time. And because I have a smaller head, I actually had to cut the mask and re-sew it back together so that
For
it
it
would
to
be
tighten.
smaller.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then I plastic dipped it in the same color so that you couldn't tell. And
Okay.
then I think I separated the neck so that I can move around.
Oh,
And I
wow.
used that thing for I don't know how many years.
That's awesome. Can I ask how many masks you own?
Oh, right now, I lost count. I'll be honest. I have to recount. I think I have somewhere around 25, possibly.
Whoa, dude, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh yeah. I'll say I have a couple more coming because my friend, unfortunately, I sold her one of my Rhodians that she loved to wear. She wanted to buy it, so I sold it to her. And unfortunately, she hasn't been able to use it. She's moving, so
Okay.
she asked if I wanted to buy it back. So I
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
okay, sure. So that's coming back to me. And then I pre-ordered another mask, even though I said I wasn't going to for a while. And then I still have one I still need to paint. It's still in the box that it shipped to me in.
Okay, okay. I was gonna
Yeah.
say, you should. Wish for you to have one of those big displays like Lost in the Force, with all of his helmets. You just
Oh
have
yes,
all the heads.
I have a couple. I don't know if I can do this, but I
Yeah, yeah.
do have some of them
Ooh,
displayed in the back.
nice.
I have most of my Rhodians actually displayed.
Yeah, dude.
Uh, I do want to display them better if I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
my own house. You know, I don't have my own place. Sorry, let me fix the
Oh,
camera.
you're good. You're good.
I don't have my own place, so I can't really display them the way I want.
Sure.
So hopefully,
Not yet.
I
Not
win the
yet. But
lot.
soon. 2025.
I need to win the lotto. Yeah, 2025, win the lotto, buy a house, display my mask.
That's cool.
And I go out of the way to black out my windows so no UV light is in my room. I
Right.
replace all my light bulbs to natural daylight, so at least I have proper lighting in my rooms, but no natural daylight, no UV light in my room. All
No,
right.
that's cool, man. Do you have any other masks that are non-Rhodian?
Yeah, I do have I have a Corin, I have a Weequay,
Oh,
I
nice.
have a Mimbam.
Okay.
What else do I got? Let me see. I have a Nictu.
Wow.
I have a Grand, I have a Gand. I have whatever Neo's race is. I have one of those
Oh, really?
on the way.
Nice.
That's the down payment I put on. I do have
Cool.
I have a Trandoshan that's going to be painted. I think that's it.
This is what we need to do. Okay,
Oh,
wait. Go.
Cubaz. I have a Cubaz.
Okay, so I told you I think we're in the same RPG group. Shout out to
Yeah.
Midrid Rebel. I said I have a lot
Yes.
of monster clay. We should just start sculpting masks and casting them, man, and then
Yes.
we'll just buy you a house that way.
Oh, that is something I plan to do. It is on my list
2025.
because, like I said, being an art major, I know how to sculpt.
Yeah.
I don't know where my skills lie these days because I haven't done it in like 20 something years.
Right.
I think I still have all my tools. They're just wooden sculpting tools, but I still have all my tools. But I do want to start making masks and hopefully maybe start sculpting them
That'd
and
be cool,
casting them.
man. That'd be
Yeah,
cool. Hey, we got to
that would be
speak it
cool.
into existence, right? Where you're
Exactly.
you're gonna have your own booth at
Play it,
my con.
think it, manifest it.
We're manifesting, bro. We're manifesting right
Yes,
now.
I like this. I
I
like this.
I love all the aspects of art and cosplay. I was a big fan of, I think it was Face Off when it was on Sci-Fi,
Yeah,
and
yes, yes.
they would do the sculpting and stuff. That's how I got into sculpting. That's how I did my grunt from Mass
Okay.
Effect. And it's funny because we casted it and it didn't work. And so I was like, well, there goes 9 months of sculpting.
That that does happen sometimes, unfortunately. I've had that happen where I use sculpting foam
Oh,
and
okay.
the form underneath, I think I had sprayed sealant on it and I didn't let it dry it away. So it
Uh,
absorbed into the foam and melted my
yep,
sculpture. So
yep,
I'm
yep.
like, oop.
The chemicals will
And
definitely degrade.
yeah, it happens, The key is to reset and then start again. Those are your only options.
Right,
So
and it's practice. Like you said, you haven't done sculpting in a long time. I'm sure it would take a while for it to come back to you. Like riding a bike, like
yeah,
any other skill, like
yeah,
that stuff will
exactly.
come back. Yeah, it's funny because the actual iteration of Grunt that I have now, the quote unquote final version, is the third version because
Oh
I
wow.
did the first sculpt and we lost it, right, from trying to cast and didn't know how to cast. I don't know why we tried it on the one thing the one thing that took me forever to do. We should have did like a practice cast
Okay,
or
you
had
learned.
someone yeah. And then I was like, you know what, I'll sculpt it again. So I sculpted it again, but then I was gonna do silicone thing like face off, like the ones you have there.
Yep.
But then I was like, wait a minute, I made the head sculpt to be larger, right, to fit the
Yeah.
size of the character. But then I was like, I don't know how to make a structure around my head to put
Yeah.
the silicone on. It would have to be like a wire thing. And I said, you know what? I know foam, EVA foam was my medium for cosplay. So the whole head is made out of EVA foam.
Okay.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
used a Dremel, did all the shapes, glued it on to the form, and that's what Grunt Heads is right now. So, yeah.
Hey, if it works, it works.
Yeah.
I know a lot of foam smiths. It's funny. I actually have an evil twin named Sean Shaw, who used to live in LA. I'm not sure where he lives now, but he is a master at making foam armor.
Nice.
He won so many different awards with it, and you'd be surprised what you can do with foam these days.
His name sounds
So
familiar. Did he
he's,
in
he's in
cosplay still
the
or no?
cosplay. Yeah, he's in the cosplay circuit too. He took a break for a while, so I don't know if he still is or not.
Okay.
He might have moved out of California.
Okay.
I need to follow up on that. But
Yeah.
same name, exact same spelling, Sean Shaw. Except he's like 6 foot tall and black and like 5'6", 80.
No, yeah, those foam is a great medium. I wish more people used it. There was a big renaissance when I started with
Yeah, there
watching
definitely was.
Bill Duran and Evil Ted, and not many
Yep.
people were doing it back then because they were very small channels at the time. But then now
Yeah.
it's blown up, and it's such a cool material to use. I think if I ever did more like Mando stuff, I'd probably try to get away with using EVA foam. I know some of the groups don't allow it, but just for me and what I would do,
Yeah,
I'd
if,
probably
if
just do
you're
stuff.
making it for fun, make it out of whatever you want.
Yeah.
It does flex, which is why I think a lot of the
Yes.
clubs don't allow it because they want it to still look like armor.
Sure.
So foam does crease and it will leave lines. So, but it does have its uses because if you watched, I think it wasn't Phantom Menace. What was the second one? I'm forgetting.
Attack of the Clones.
Attack of the Clones. Yeah, Attack of the
Yeah.
Clones. When Jango and Obi-Wan are fighting,
Mhm.
he's wearing sun armor so that it's actually bending in the frames. You can see the
Oh.
armor bend.
Oh, cool.
It's rubber.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if it's good enough for the movies.
Yeah. I mean, who cares if you're not trying to get into one of the Mandalorian groups, I think it's
Exactly.
like you said.
I mean, make it out of cardboard and fiberglass if you wanted to. You know, there's no wrong way to do it as long as you're having fun. I
Yeah.
think that's the most
And the
important.
EVA foam is super light, which I really also like. Because
very light.
that my whole grunt costume, I mean, I'm 7 feet tall in it, but I could
Wow.
just take it off and put it on the ground, bounce it around, and it's fine. Usually just
And it's
honestly,
durable too. If it
Yeah.
falls, it usually doesn't break. So
yeah, you would have to really put effort into ripping it and tearing it to actually break it. So endorsement for
I haven't
EVA
messed
foam.
with it a lot, but I do have foam that I'm planning to use on one of my builds. But I'm planning on fiberglassing over it, or at least using sculpting putty over it to make it rigid. I want it rigid,
Yeah.
but I want the thickness. I'm using foam.
Yeah, and you can get it now like in different thicknesses too.
Yep.
Online TNT Supply, I think they're still a thing. I used to get my foam from them.
Yeah.
Um,
And you can get different piping and stuff
Yeah.
nowadays, and the glues,
huge now.
and they got all sorts of things for it. And
there's
awesome.
even moldable EVA foam. I got some a while
the
ago.
sculpting stuff, right?
Yeah, you can sculpt it and then eventually solidify. It's pretty cool.
Yep. Yeah, there's all sorts of cool things like that. You can even wrap what is that, Warbler, over it to if you want that hard shell.
Yeah.
Or like I said, you can glass it. But,
Yeah.
There's so many different things available now than there was like 10 years ago.
For
So
sure.
Google something and then just go for it.
Yeah. Or even DM one of us because apparently.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly.
Icknaybob knows a lot.
We like to build stuff, Like I'm lazy, but I like I said, I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. I know a little bit about a lot of different things.
Yeah. I tried Warbler once and I did not have a great time trying it, and then the cost is a little bit higher too.
I had some too, and same thing. My first test results were horrible, so I'm like, I'll wait until I get better, and then COVID hit, and I never touched it
Yeah,
again.
never gone back to it since. Uh, but I know people swear by it and people use it, and I think it does look
Yeah,
great when it's used well. But
yeah,
I can make a
definitely.
lot of cool stuff out of EVA foam. I made a lot of
Yeah.
cool stuff out of EVA
I
foam.
I do want to build more because I have all these lovely masks, and I don't have a specific character for most of them. I just mix and match or whatever,
Yeah.
So I do want to start making some more concrete defined characters where
Okay.
this mask will wear this specific outfit so that at least people can recognize it.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you go about painting the mask? Airbrush, or are you going in by hand, or how are you usually doing your
So
masks?
once again, because I'm lazy, spray paint. Specifically,
Okay. Okay.
plasti dip spray paint.
Okay. Okay.
I have an airbrush, but anybody who airbrushes will know it's a pain in the butt to clean and whatnot, and you
Yeah.
can't run everything through it.
Yeah.
So collecting masks and being an art major, I know a little bit about different materials.
Yeah.
So what a lot of mask makers make the mistake of is they just use acrylic paint. What happens with acrylic, even though it flexes a little bit, it's not enough to keep up
Yeah.
with the elasticity of the mask, so they crack and peel off. Like in
Yeah.
fact, I have some masks that I don't wear because the paint has completely come off of it. Before
Mm,
I even wore it, just handling it.
yeah.
So in order to technically properly paint a latex mask that flexes, you have to either mix rubber cement into the paint or
Okay.
use something that stretches like plastic dip.
Right.
And since they do sell plastic dip in a spray form, if I have to repaint it, I spray paint it with plastic dip. In fact, I have one right here. I'm going to lean out of frame just a
Yeah,
little
you're good.
bit.
You're good.
This guy has been repainted, I think, twice already.
Okay.
So, and it's plastic dip.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So that it stretches with the mask. And that's the important part. It needs to stretch with the mask
Yeah.
and not crack.
And I would do with EVA foam. We would cover it in Plasti Dip too, just because of the flexibility, and
Exactly.
yeah, it sticks really well.
Gives it a spin, basically.
Plasti Dip, sponsor us.
Okay, go on. We love your product.
We love the product. We love. I would buy so much black and gray Plasti
Oh,
Dip.
yeah. Well, they used to sell, they don't sell it anymore because I can't find it. There used to be a kit that was transparent plastic dip, and it came with, I think, 4 or 5 colors that you can mix your own. And I used to
Oh.
buy that. I used to, you had to thin it out. And they do sell propellant in a glass jar at leather stores, meant
Oh.
to be used with leather stuff. But I used to use that with plastic dip, and you can make your own colors.
I do remember seeing the kits. But yeah, I haven't seen them in a while. But I mean, I'm out. I'm kind of out of the cosplay game right now. But yeah, even the clear coat
Yeah.
Plasti Dip was really good for
Yeah, I
coverage.
searched recently and I couldn't find any. So unfortunately, that might be a product they don't make anymore.
Mm, mm,
But
mm,
if
mm.
you can find it, I highly recommend it.
How hard is it to wear the masks for like a convention or even just like a shoot?
Well, that definitely varies on the mask
Okay.
and the maker because every
Mm.
mask has, it's different size, made up of different material. Even though it's latex, everyone has their own brand or formula they
Yeah, yeah,
use.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
So most of them, not too bad. Get a little hot, get a little musky,
Of course.
especially with the Rhodians where you have a lens, it does fog up. So you have to either have airflow blowing in or defoggers or something.
Yeah.
But I do have one Rhodian that I actually, unless all 3 fans are working in it and I have my cold AC blowing in it, I cannot wear it because I will have panic attacks.
Oh.
Because you're also sealed into the mask because they come down to, I think, like pretty much to your shoulder area.
Your
Then
collarbones
whatever
maybe.
you wear,
Yeah.
yeah, to the collarbone, and then whatever you wear kind of, seals you into it. Then you're wearing gloves that you have no articulation.
Oh,
So if something
right.
goes wrong, you're stuck.
You're right. Oh man, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
I didn't think about
So
that.
a lot of times, if you see my costumes, I have a Roamer 6 that I wear with my mask.
Okay.
That is actually connected to a portable AC tumbler on my belt, blowing cold air into my mask.
Nice. That's smart.
That
That's
way,
smart.
yeah, it helps a lot. You have no idea. It helps a lot because I've been on shoots where I had to wear that thing for like maybe 2 or 3 hours at a time, and because you don't want to keep taking it off, then they have to wait for you to reset before they can
Yeah.
continue filming. You got to keep it on, and it gets tough sometimes. It gets really rough sometimes.
Wow.
Sweats in your eyes, so you
Yeah.
pretend that you know what you're doing, and hopefully they'll tell you if you're messing up. So it's sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's really hard.
Yeah.
Just depends on the mask.
Yeah. No, for sure. I find myself fortunate. Again, my grunt head is it's not touching my face. I have quite a bit of space, and I have a fan. I think I did. What did I do? I have to look, but I put computer fans in, and I have one coming in and one going out.
Smart.
Just to make sure I got
have
good
that
airflow.
airflow.
I wear another fan on my chest, like a neck one,
Okay.
and then I have
Smart.
one in the back of the entire suit, just so that the fans are just going, because the EVA foam. If I needed to build a structure outside, I would build it out of EVA foam because it traps a lot of heat.
It insulates. If you ever want to wear a mask and we're at the same convention or something, just let me know. I'll bring an extra one and you can try it out.
Yeah, perfect.
That's one of the reasons why I have so many is that I lend it out to people all the time at
Oh, okay.
conventions. I drag my brother-in-law, my sister, even my nephew wears a little Rhodian.
Nice.
I've lent it out. Dre currently has my Durals that he was going to
Okay.
wear.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been lending my mask out for production purposes. I've been, how many fan films have I been a part of now? 4 or 5, I think.
Oh, that's
And I'm
rad.
about to shoot another one next weekend.
Okay.
And this next one, I'm providing like not just the mask, but like wardrobe and props and stuff. So
Whoa.
I'm providing a lot of stuff for them.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. That's cool, man. That sounds like a little side business you could do. Like, or just like, oh yeah, we'll just like lend it
yeah,
out. Yeah, that's
yeah,
cool, man. That's
yeah.
really cool.
I'm hoping it leads to connections where I can hopefully land a spot in one of the show, just as
Maybe,
an
maybe.
extra.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
2025, come on.
Who's your favorite?
Brad World notice me.
Yeah, yeah. Another wish for 2025. Who's your
Yep.
favorite alien in Star Wars?
It's funny. I always tell people Greedo,
It is
which is
great.
why I like
Okay.
the Love Herodians, just because I think that has to be one of the funniest things in Star Wars. This guy comes up, he's acting hardcore, and then it's shot in the face. He doesn't get a chance to do anything. And I said, how appropriate is that for a metaphor for real life? Sometimes things just don't go your way.
Yeah.
And I just like the aesthetics of the creature itself.
Yeah. Do you also wear the long fingered gloves?
It's very important to me. Gotta have the long finger gloves.
Okay. Good to know.
So there's most of the makers do make hands to go with their mask. If they don't, I'll buy extra hands from another maker and paint it to match.
Okay.
Um, there's actually a silicone mask that I want. That's the silicone Rhodian. These are all latex.
Oh, okay. Yep.
There's one silicone, and I'm hoping they make the hands to go with it. If not, I just have to buy another set of latex hands to paint it to match.
Okay.
I own, I think, one Rhodian mask from every maker,
Wow.
Rhodian maker out there. Yeah.
That's pretty cool, man.
Minus stuff that unfortunately don't make them anymore.
Sure, sure, sure. Do any
Yeah.
of the Rhodians, can you get away with wearing gloves? Do they have any gloves, or they're all just bare?
Technically, you can.
Okay.
I have hands for all of mine. Rhodians themselves, there was a design in Solo. There's a female Rhodian that's one of the Cloud Riders. She's portrayed with regular hands. She has a glove on.
Oh,
But
interesting.
talking to the artist who designed her, I specifically asked, like, did you design her to have regular hands on purpose?
Yeah.
They told me it's meant to have the Rhodian hands underneath the glove. So if she was to ever take off her gloves, she's got the Rhodian suction cup fingers.
But
So
they'd be
I'm like, okay,
shorter? They'd be short. They'd be
they're
shorter
just,
though.
but they'd be shorter, yeah.
Interesting.
Well, the Rhodians themselves have been portrayed with different length fingers.
Oh, okay,
So,
okay.
and this is where my love for Rhodians come from. Greedo had long fingers. In fact, I have Greedo's hands here. Let me see. This is supposed to be a very good replica of Greedo's original hands.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
they're very long, right? So the original shots used these. Then, because Greedo wasn't articulated, they reshot his close-up scenes in California. Yeah, I think in California
Okay.
with a different actress, Maria D. Argon, who unfortunately passed away, I think,
Mm,
last year.
yeah.
Had a chance to meet her, very nice lady.
Oh, nice.
But when they shot her scenes, I believe she's wearing Dural's hands because they're a lot shorter. They
Oh,
weren't even accurate.
yeah.
But later on, in I want to say Jabba's palace scenes, there's a female Rhodian. She has shorter fingers. Still suction cupped, but they're like maybe just an inch or two longer. So they've been
Interesting.
portrayed with different length fingers.
Yeah, yeah. I
So
mean,
that's yeah,
yeah, yeah. No,
which
that
makes
that,
sense.
that makes sense
Look
because,
at
like,
us humans.
yeah, humans, we all have different size hands. Oh, that's so interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. So it makes sense that there's a variety within the same, race of aliens. It's nice
Yeah.
to see a little variety, including like colors. Originally, they were all
Right.
green
Yeah,
because they
yeah.
get the same map. But with the newest, I think it was Solo. That Rhodian was like a brownish red.
Okay.
So that was to me that was beautiful because my original OC was like a weird corn snake color. It was like almost albino white with red spots on it.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm like, it would make sense to have one or two aliens that aren't green. Fair
Yeah.
enough, when I saw her, I'm like, see, someone else understood where I was coming from. And now there's blue, there's brown. I think there's even a yellow Rhodian in
Oh
the
wow.
shows. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that is really cool. I like seeing variety of colors for sure. And I remember your corn
Yeah,
snake one being very original. That one's really cool.
yeah.
Is
I
that
just wanted to be a little bit more unique.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
corn
Would you do you like I mean you picked the corn snake one. I was gonna ask about like the colorway if you're very purist about like, oh, the ones you pick up are more green. Even the ones on your shelf they were more
yeah.
green. But
Yeah, I tried to stay to the traditional colors just because I figured the majority were probably around green or blue.
yeah.
I do have, I think I have one right now that is more of the yellow orangish color. I did have a second one, but I repainted it. That was the blue ones that you saw.
Okay.
Um, and then of course the corn snake one. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Would
but I try to stay true to the colors that they're supposed to be. But now that we see blue ones, I'm like, oh, I need a blue one now.
do you have any insight on I think it's is her name Chani on the Halcyon and how they did the animatronics?
Oh, Wani. Yeah,
Oh, Wani,
Wani
Wani, Wani.
is a work of art. I've been
Yeah.
trying to get in touch with some of the behind the scenes people, but no one's reaching out yet. So I'm
Oh,
like, okay, I get it. It's a trade secret. In fact, this mask right here is sculpted after Wani. This is by Chris Stevens Creations or Bramdam on Instagram.
okay.
So this is his Wani sculpt. But yeah, she was incredible. Her brows raised up, her little antennae moved, of course, her mouth was articulated. Um, Her eyes were perforated so that there's no fogging issues. So if you look at it up close, there's tiny little holes. Beautifully done.
Oh, wow.
Beautifully done. She spoke Huttese.
Yes.
I think it's the same technology that they use with the stormtroopers in the parks, where certain hand
Hand
gestures,
gestures, yeah.
say, yeah, say certain phrases. So,
Wow.
but yeah, it was done so well, and I hope we get to see maybe not Wani, but some kind of Rhodian in the parks because I think
Yeah.
they did have a design for Rhodian that was supposed to be in the parks because it's in the art book for Galaxy's Edge
We need to see more aliens in the parks,
in
whatever.
general.
Yeah, in general.
Yeah,
Like just have them
exactly. Just
walk
have them
around.
walk around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they do
I.
the actual like characters right from the movies and the shows and stuff. I'm like, why don't you guys have just
Mhm.
regular alien denizens? It doesn't. I
Yeah.
don't know why they're so
And
shad.
I get it because it's hard for them to talk and see. But if you have them up on the canopy, walking around above where they don't have to interact with customers,
Yeah.
that's all we ask for. Just have them there, in
Well,
the background. All we
the
want.
but even the Disney characters don't talk.
Yeah. I mean,
Not
alien
all of
wise,
them,
let me
but
see. Yeah, not all of them. We have Ahsoka. I mean, she's technically an alien. She does talk.
no, I'm saying like
But I think.
like if you had like Chip and Dale, or
Oh yeah, that's true.
people are
The
used.
mascots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the mascots. People are used to not having them talk. They're like, oh, just hug, picture, and they're gone, right? So
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't think it
Yeah.
would be that big of a deal. And there's a lot of spots
That's
where
true.
people can't like what the behind all the railings and stuff that they have.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if you put them there, they don't have to. They can control the amount of interaction with
Yeah,
guests.
yeah,
I
or
think
even
they need more of it. It's in our books.
yeah,
They showed us. Well, now we want it,
yeah. I was gonna say just hit you up just to be like, hey, give me borrows.
right? I'll lend them my Rhodium app. I'll be
Yeah,
happy to do that.
yeah, man, that'd be awesome.
It's funny. I was just thinking about that. I think yesterday because I happened to someone showed a picture of Galaxy's Edge. Concept art, and
Yeah,
there were stormtroopers everywhere. And I'm thinking, yeah, I mean, why don't they have that? Because they only have the two that follow Kylo around, but
right.
in the pictures they painted, they were everywhere. So
Yeah,
I'm like, I would like some more characters, not just the cast members in costume, but like actual characters walking around.
yeah,
That's all I want.
yeah. It just feels like missed opportunity, but I mean, it has to be like a money thing, putting
Yeah,
people
definitely.
in these suits and stuff. They probably would demand a higher rate. Not them as the cast members, but
Yeah,
the job market would probably demand them being
which makes sense.
higher
It does
paid.
require a little bit more, to portray those characters. So I fully get it.
Yeah,
And I know COVID hurt a lot of things because,
yeah,
if I remember correctly from reading, Disney made a majority of the money from the parks. So when the
Yeah.
parks shut down, it really hurt them financially.
Yeah.
So not as much was available to put towards Batuu itself. And I'm
Right.
sure that affected all the characters and whatnot that we would have gotten.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully that'll
So
change soon.
2025,
2025.
2025. I'll say manifesting good things for this year.
This is that's the title of the episode, Manifesting 2025.
Right? Exactly.
It's
happy thought.
yeah, it's actually funny. As we were talking, I just thought about it right now. My current Star Wars 5e RPG character is a Rhodian.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So I don't know how much into board gaming you are or in that way, but I bought I have most of the Imperial Assault board game miniatures.
Oh,
So it's like an
I'm
RPG in a
familiar.
box.
I have one or two of those sets.
Yeah.
I played a few games here and there, but
Yeah.
I haven't really touched much on it.
Yeah, me and my buddy, it's actually pretty cool because you can download it on an iPad, and it takes you through a campaign where the iPad
Yes.
brings you through, and so you can do all the
Yep.
battles and everything and pick stuff, which is cool. But one of the characters is a Rhodian, so for most of my D&D Star Wars games, I pick one of my minis to be my PC.
That's cool.
And so I can't remember I think it's, what is his name? And there's one Rhodian character, and I'm like, that's going to be my character. So dual pistols. And
Dual pistols.
he has
I have that model. Actually.
yeah, it's a really cool model. I have it all painted up. I
got into Legion. I never got into Imperial Assault. I did play Legion. Though.
Yeah, very similar, very similar. Yeah. Imperial Assault, it's a Fantasy Flight game, but it's on hiatus. But it's been on hiatus for like 4 years or something.
Actually, I read all of them are. Unfortunately, they're not going to produce anymore for any of those games. Sadly.
Which makes sense because Legion is one of their bigger.
No, even for Legion, Legion is pretty much dead at this point.
No way. What about Shatterpoint?
Yeah, Shatterpoint, I believe it's also
they just
slowly going away.
They all halted.
Yeah,
all
I
of them.
think so.
Interesting.
Yeah. Not enough gamers, I guess. They're not making the kind of money they expected. I'm assuming.
Probably.
Because when I got into Legion, I got into it late. Okay. It's funny because I actually converted all of them into Rhodians, of course, being the nerd that I am. But then COVID hit and kind of messed up everything. Like my local gaming store actually went out of business because of COVID. So it was hard for me to find a community at that point. And plus, I moved around a lot in Georgia. Okay. I think I moved 4 times in the 5 years I was there. So it was really hard to, find people to play with. And then when I came back here, I decided I'm going to use those miniatures to build hopefully a role-playing game around it. So
more plans for 2026.
Yeah, more plans 2026 at this point. Well, I like what is the game that we're playing together? What is it called? Edge of Empire.
Edge of the Empire. Edge of the Empire. Yeah.
Age of the Empire. I'm gonna try to run a campaign for my brother-in-law, my sister, and maybe some local friends using the miniature. Because I like miniatures. I used to work for Games Workshop, so
no way.
I love miniatures. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. I love miniatures too. I have a big collection of miniatures.
Yep, same here.
That's probably, I think, role-playing games and like miniatures is probably one of my higher hobbies on my list that I don't share enough of. I do actually have a podcast that we've been recording for our episodes of our Star Wars games, like a recap that will be on the Record channel. So there's a lot of crossover like with Burgundy Squadron and like RPGs. So I'm going to have everybody back on to talk about RPGs.
Yeah. Cause I'm looking forward to
that. One of my passions. But going back to my Rhodian character, it's, I actually wear that cowboy hat. So I'm a Rhodian dual wielding pistol, Southern accent and everything.
Now I got to lend you the mask. So
I know. I just thought about that too.
And believe me, I have one that'll probably fit you. So
I might.
We're gonna have to make that happen.
Yeah. I might have to take
2025. We're gonna make that happen.
It was funny too because the first game here at my place we just had a few weeks ago, and it's a group of my family and their friends, like my nieces and nephews and a couple of their friends, and it's my nieces and nephews have played RPGs with me, but their friends haven't. They're very new to tabletop role playing. So when they came here, one of the guys, he's a Jedi. I handed him my Savi's High Republic
Oh, like,
lightsaber. I put him in the Halcyon gray
oh,
like
nice.
thing, and so he's like taking selfies, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I have a girl's vest, and I put her in a vest, and then I put my niece in the Gabbercrete poncho. So we're all like dressed up at the table. It was a lot of fun. They
Oh,
had
I
a lot
love
of
that.
fun
I love that.
because like they didn't know
Yeah,
what I was
I wish
doing. I
you
was
were.
just like putting it on them.
I wish you were closer to me because I would love to join that.
Yeah, I know, dude. We got to do a game in person. We have to have like a in person
Yeah,
game, because
that would
like
be awesome. Where we
me,
dress like our characters.
yeah, dude. Well, I would have to be blue because uh not Chiss. What am I?
Okay, I got blue paint.
Yeah, just plasti dip me.
Yep. You're I want to say
Pantorn,
Pandadorian, but that's
Pantorn,
not right. Pandoran, Pandoran.
Pantorn.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
Pantorn. So yeah, we'll have to do a dress up game because I mean even Kate has her Twi'lek look
Yep.
already, and I'm
Yep.
sure Adam does too. Friend of the show, Ian Grayson, for his Rev
Yep.
character. So we gotta look the
Oh,
part.
that reminds me. I gotta Photoshop you into our group picture. I actually Photoshop a group picture of our
Oh
little
no
group.
way,
I gotta add you. So,
no way.
I have, yep, I have to get Photoshop back on my computer. Unfortunately, my computer crashed and I had to reboot everything. And
Oh
so,
no.
Photoshop's one of those things. I'm like, I don't know where my disk is. I'm still using Photoshop too. I'm like,
Yeah.
uh, might just have to bite the bullet and subscribe and
Well,
use this
hopefully
new
not.
one.
Hopefully not. Maybe you can find that disc.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I'll have to do it.
hopefully.
I'll do a photo for you, and then we'll just digitally make me blue.
Yep.
That should work.
Yeah, we'll Photoshop it. Yep. Exactly.
um,
That'd be awesome.
but yeah, I love role playing games. I'm super happy to be I'm invited to the group, and it's been a lot of fun. How far back
Yeah.
does your RPG and tabletop gaming go?
Ooh. So, I mean, I always call people nerds just because I'm the ultimate nerd. I've done tabletop RPG like Dungeons and Dragons and miniatures, obviously.
Yeah.
Trying to think how far back, probably high school.
Oh wow.
Starting off with Warhammer, and then from there, my Warhammer group also played like games like D&D and I think it was Vampire the Masquerade. So I did dabble in those games. Later on, I worked with, I think it was a couple of my old Games Workshop coworkers. We ended up working at a different shop. So we played Private Share Press's version, Iron Kingdom.
Okay.
We played their RPG game, and that was, it was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Just coming up with characters, and unfortunately, a lot of them were one shots.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I like one shot games too. Like if my character dies, I'm not even long campaigns. If my character dies, I really don't care. I'll just create another character. I don't get too attached to my characters. So even in LARP, the character I played, like if I had died, I wouldn't have cared. I would just create a whole new character. So
Can characters
I
die in
don't I don't
LARP?
get. Oh yeah, it's hard to kill them just because people invest so much time into their costumes
Yeah.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
So they make it harder for your character to die. But yeah, they can definitely die.
Oh, interesting.
You
I
know,
didn't
and,
know.
and like in my case, I really don't care if I die. I have like five more characters in my head ready to go. So
That's actually probably my favorite part of RPGs is creating a character and building a backstory and stuff. And I think
yep,
that's how I got scooped up into this Burgundy Squadron thing because it's like, oh, like make a character and make a backstory, and I'm like, oh, it's like a real
exactly.
person.
I'm like, yes, yes, please. I like to make some more. I do have other Burgundy OCs I'm planning on doing just because I know Billy expressed that he would like to see more aliens, and I have so many aliens.
You're the
I
guy.
just have to, like I said, I got to nail down that one look,
Yeah.
get the stuff weathered, so it looks perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. I see.
2025. 2025.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I had to if I was like in the market to buy a mask. I don't know what kind of alien I would pick up. I don't know. I haven't really
Well,
thought
there's
about it.
that's the good part. There's a lot because
Yeah.
like Chris Stevens alone offers, my God, I forget how many he has. He's got over 15, I
Oh
think,
wow.
different alien masks you can choose from. And I have a list of all the people I buy from, and most of them offer several different ones too. Most of them don't just make one; they make several, and it will custom sculpt one if it's popular enough. Like Neo, I already know three makers making Neo.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, now people have choices,
Yeah. Yeah.
depending
Yeah.
on what style they like or the budget. Sometimes they do cost different. People are in different parts of the world making them, so the cost is going to be different. So,
Right. Did you watch the most recent episode of Skeleton Crew, episode 6?
uh, course.
I thought about you
I've
when
seen
they
that like 3 times already.
I thought about you when they did when John has his whole like speech, and I'm like, I
Oh
was
yeah.
like, oh man, I know, Icknaybob is going crazy right now with all the aliens in the
Oh
background
yeah.
here.
Specifically because some of those people, the extras, are people I know in real life, and
Oh,
I'm
that's
like,
so
dude,
cool.
that's like my ultimate goal. You're
Yeah.
living my dream. I just want to be an alien in the background.
I hope
I'm like, you're living my dream.
I hope we can make that happen for you, bud. I hope we can make that happen for you.
Yeah, it's really hard because I have a 9 to 5 job.
Of course.
It's hard to, be in the industry because you're called in suddenly sometimes for fittings and test shoots,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, I can't commit to that, and
Oh,
it's
gotcha.
secretive. So they don't tell you what you're auditioning for.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, so it's really hard for me. The only way it would happen for me is if I knew somebody that worked on the show, specifically said, "Hey, I know this guy who can play a Rhodian last minute. Hey, call me up." I'm like, "Get your butt over here. I can't
Yeah,
tell you what it's for, but you're not gonna regret it." And then I'll know. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna call out sick. I'll be back, and hopefully it'll happen one day.
Hopefully,
It's on
man.
my bucket list. So not much on my bucket list, but that is one of them.
For sure, for
Yeah.
sure. Well, hey, we can't have the pod run forever because I was like, podcast time limits and all that stuff. But I'm so happy to have you here. I'm definitely going to have you on the show again. I say that a lot about all the guests, but
Oh yeah.
as
I'll be more than
schedules,
happy to come back.
yeah, yeah, as schedules allow, we're gonna have you back on for another episode and talk more. Because again,
Awesome.
the jack of all trades, man. There's so many routes we can go,
Yep.
and hopefully everyone who was watching could stick with us as I was bouncing
Yes.
around the topics.
Oh yeah, I get like that too, so I apologize. My
It's
mind
fine.
works in mysterious ways.
It's fine. It's great. And I love having, Burgundy Squadron, and people who aren't in Burgundy Squadron are also welcome on the show. But any like people who have a passion for Star Wars or even sci-fi or just other nerd fandoms are welcome. But it's so cool to find out who they are behind the masks in your case, or what other things they're interested in, because there's so much interesting cool stuff
Oh
that
yeah,
people have that they don't share online very much, and you
exactly.
wouldn't know if you didn't ask
Yep.
or didn't have technology where we
And
could talk about it on a computer.
yeah, we have the internet that connects us all at the click of a button, so everyone can find their tribe.
Yeah, man. And
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised.
I'm happy to be in a tribe with you, brother.
Hey, likewise. Thank you for having me here, man. It's been a blast.
Yeah, the time is flying fast, so so I was like, oh
Yeah,
man.
it went by really quick.
We'll definitely have to schedule a part 2. Where can
All right.
people find you?
So I am on Instagram under Icknaybob, spelled Icknaybob. On Facebook, it's I believe my name or Icknaybob. I use Icknaybob for everything, so if you just Google that, you'll find me on pretty much only on Facebook and Instagram.
Oh
So
yeah, for sure, for sure. And you're here at the right place, Rancor YouTube channel. We got stuff on Etsy. We got stuff at
right on.
rancorclothing.com. Where else can you find us? Just Google Rancor. There's a link tree in the description. Thank you guys so
Like
much.
and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Comment something
Like and
cool.
subscribe.
Thank you again for being on the show. I appreciate it. And for the rest of you, I hope you have a great rest of your galactic day. Punch it, Chewie. Boom. We're out of here. Burgundy Squadron out.
Burgundy Squadron out.